Yo, what's going on, people? It's the Suave Kid. Welcome to another episode of Thoughts of an Abstract Mind. Listen, today I've just been catching up on the Julio Foolio trial. Basically, the murder suspects are on trial now. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. You know, just seeing how everything unraveled according to the prosecutors. I mean, these guys have got to be either the smartest, they've got to be the smartest and the dumbest assassination team of all time. Like, some of the things I'm hearing is just crazy. You know, it's just crazy. In certain points, you're like, wow, that's really smart. They did that. You know, i.e., two of them were using assault rifles and they had they had an attachment on the gun that basically all the gun shells fell into, so you couldn't trace the gun shells. It's crazy smart. But then they're still carrying their phones into the same areas that they're doing these things. And then the Airbnb they rented, you know, they initially were only entering at the back, but right before they leave, everyone just goes through the front. You see what I'm saying? And it's just the level of sloppiness. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to you, Julio Foolio. You know what I mean? He wasn't no angel himself. Let's be honest. He wasn't no angel himself. And he was dissing everyone whilst he was alive. You know, but it's still sad that yet another young life has been lost. You know? Right, it's interesting. It's interesting. You know, it just goes to show the lengths these guys would. Man, they must have really wanted the guy bad. Because the lengths they went to just to get him was crazy. You know, it was crazy. The level of animosity they must have had with this guy. And all over what? Some street cred. I guess they lost people on their side too. And it just goes to show, it's like, I ain't even gonna lie to you guys, yeah. At one point I used to subscribe to that ideology. You know, I grew up around certain people. You had our own little crew. I wouldn't call it a gang. We just like family, touch one of us, etc., etc. And I was fully heavy into it. You see what I'm saying? And then what helped me was I ended up leaving the area I was in. I'll break down the story at some point and then move somewhere else, and slowly from simply being detached from certain people, common sense started creeping into my psyche. And I realized a lot of this shit is just bullshit. You know, excuse my language, but it's just crap. Because at the end of the day, what are we doing all of this for? You don't want to live a long, happy, prosperous, simple, happy life. You want to die mercilessly young. To prove what point? Because no matter how tough you think you are, there's always someone tougher. No matter how bad you think you are, there's always someone badder. No matter how gun-tote you are, there's always someone gun-toter than you. You know what I mean? If that's even a word. You know what I mean? So to what end? To what end? How many times do we have to see the story play out before we say, you know what? Especially in our culture, enough is enough. You know? It don't make you soft to want a better life. It don't make you soft to want a better future. It don't make you soft to want to do right by your kids. It don't make you soft to live a prosperous life. In fact, that makes you more gangster. You know, trying to live a life that is abnormal for where you started from is more gangster than living the exact same life that you've seen so many people play out with endless failed results. You know what I mean? So for the youth coming up, let this all be a lesson to you. Don't subscribe to anything that will end your life before it's time. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. Julio Foolio died. Everyone, oh, Julio Foolio's all over the internet. Julio Foolio, da, 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 da. 2 weeks down the line, next topic, move on. All the stuff you were rapping about and trying to prove how hard you are. And yeah, you're hard in the grave. You know what I mean? And rest in peace to the guy. I mean, he's got family, and you don't want to, you know what I mean? I'm just saying things to set an example. You know what I mean? Because we have a lot of that over here in the UK as well. We have pretty much the same. Americans think we just drink tea and eat puddings here. Like, shit goes down here heavy. You know what I mean? But again, it's what path do you choose? You know what I mean? It's what path do you choose? If you choose a path that's going to lead you into that, then of course, that road is there too. You choose a positive path or try to stay. But I mean, no one's invincible in this world. Anything can happen to anyone at any time. But you can minimize your risks. And the youngest now, the things I see is like, you know, I'm no older much myself, but, you know, I got the grace, but I'm still a young man, you know, believe it or not. But, you know, it's like, there's so many other things you could be doing with life, guys. There's so many other things you could be doing with life. You know what I mean? Considering Julio Foolio even had a choice to move out of Jacksonville in the first place and still chose to stay. Why? Because when you're in that mentality, you just want to show that you're so hard, you're so bad, you're so untouchable. Anyone can get touched. Anyone can get touched. From when I heard they can assassinate JFK, that's when I learned anyone can get touched. If they can do it to a president, who are you? You know what I mean? So it's interesting. It's interesting. Now, these guys as well, long prison sentences. You know? So who's won in all this scenario? Granted, I think one of them, he lost a family member, which he thinks Julio Foolio's crew did, and etc., etc. But where does it end, guys? Where does it end? Where does it end? And to what end? Because we're losing more and more young souls to this street stuff. And who gains? Because everyone's family is going to suffer now. So one of them has kids, they're going to suffer now. So let this be a lesson to everyone, guys. Me, I take lessons from situation. I don't wait for situation to happen to me before I learn from it. I see it afar, and I peep it, and I see what happened, and I learn my lesson from it. I don't wait till it's right in front of my nose before I learn from it. So if you want, you can apply that to your life too and have a lovely, prosperous, peaceful, happy, long life. It's very important. A long life is very important. Even after you've reached your goals, there's always so many things you can add to your legacy. Don't ever forget that, guys. Yeah? So the new gangster is trying to live long. You know, live all your adversaries. That's the new gangster. We're going to set that tempo now. Yeah? Shout outs to everyone tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah? Also, keep the comments coming. I love reading comments from everyone from around the globe, man. I appreciate you guys even taking your time from me. You know? Everyone's busy doing their own stuff. For you to even take time to even comment, I appreciate that. Thank you.